Europe's largest budget airline, Ryanair, has posted a record full-year profit of just over $2 billion. That's a 34% rise on the previous year. And while the results were better than expected, the Irish carrier warned that fare sales across its network this summer would now only be flat or modestly ahead of last year, down from a previous forecast of 10% increase.
Yeah, the company also said it would be 23 jets short of the number Boeing was due to deliver by the end of July, with the risk of further late deliveries. Well, the news pushed Ryanair's share price down around 1.6% on the Euronext. However, it's still up more than 17% on the year. Well, John Strickland is an independent aviation business strategist, and he joins us now to tell us a bit more about all of this. Welcome back to the programme, John. So what's going on here? This is good news, perhaps, for consumers and holidaymakers getting maybe cheaper tickets than they were expecting this summer.
Well, this is a line that Michael O'Leary has been communicating today, but it is a benefit for consumers that fares are going to be a little bit softer than expected. But what we should do is put it in context. Of course, coming out of COVID, as airlines began to fly summer 21, summer 22, we talked about pent-up demand. People were flying almost at any price. Capacity was quite limited. And fare levels were going up to levels not seen previously. I think it was probably quite ambitious to expect fares would go up substantially again a third year in a row. So what we've heard from Ryanair today is the current quarter running through till the end of June is relatively soft. We also need to remember Easter fell in this quarter last year. This time around it doesn't. But the real peak period, July, August, September, when schools are on holiday, is looking stronger, albeit as we've just been saying, fare levels not quite as high as expected. But it's still pretty positive from an airline point of view. We've seen similar commentary from EasyJet, demand looking strong, but people are not really prepared to pay that much more.
So where do you see demand going, and have we really seen the end of the so-called staycation, which of course we saw just after COVID, people having their holidays domestically? Are people really now much more keen to get overseas and spend their summer holidays in the sun?
Well, people are still travelling strongly. I mean, Ryanair is seeing volume growth. Ryanair is adding aircraft to its fleet, as is EasyJet. Of course, the backdrop for the industry is a shortage of capacity. Ryanair will be about 20 aircraft or so light of what it expected to be, so it can't resource maybe as much demand as it would wish to. That's similarly the case with Wizz Air, who we'll hear reporting on Thursday. They, in particular, have a larger problem. About a quarter of their fleet, or close to a quarter of their fleet, is currently grounded. They fly Airbus aircraft powered by Pratt & Whitney engines, which are having to go extensive maintenance repairs due to underperformance of a particular type of engine. But demand is pushing up against the buffers with airlines like those two, and indeed other carriers in the market. But there are always unknown factors. We've had a pretty wet spring, certainly in Northern Europe, and that's pushed people to fly more. We've got perhaps a wild card even of the Olympics in the summer this year, which some people may decide to stay at home there. And also factoring into consumer consideration is not just the price of tickets, but of course everything about a holiday. We've seen increases in restaurant costs, increases in hotel prices, not to mention the cost of living generally. So while people may not be travelling less, they are very much more focused on how much they can afford to spend on those much sought holidays.
And let's talk a little bit more about those aircraft capacity issues. How big a problem is Boeing's delay in aircraft deliveries for the broader European airline industry? And do carriers simply not have enough planes? And is there any sign of that improving soon?
Well, it's a significant problem. Actually, Ryanair is the one who is hit most because they have an all-Boeing fleet. They've got over 550 aircraft in their fleet. They were expecting to take delivery of around about 40 to 50 or so additional Boeing 737 MAXs this summer. As I mentioned, there will be about 20 light of that figure. They're going to have to take some later in the summer than they expected, which is not really terribly valuable because the peak is past. Ryanair won't be able to make full advantage of that capacity. Other airlines around Europe are less impacted. Not so many have large fleets of Boeing aircraft as far as short flights are concerned. But then the Airbus problem is much more prevalent. Wizz Air, as I mentioned, with a fleet of about 160, 170 aircraft currently, has a quarter of them grounded. Other airlines, for example, Vueling in the IAG group, Lufthansa is another that have aircraft powered by these Pratt & Whitney engines. So those aircraft are not available. The manufacturers talked about downtime per aircraft in the region of 350 days. So that's the best part of a year to get those engines fixed on those aircraft. And Airbus already did have delivery delay challenges anyway alongside Boeing. So that keeps capacity pretty tight. And it doesn't look like a problem that's going to go away quickly. So it's going to continue to vex airlines, not just in the months ahead, but probably running into next year as well.
OK, John, we always appreciate your insights. Thank you very much indeed. John Strickland.